always on your side. This is First Coast News at 5.
First at 5 tonight, a man accused of being a serial rape suspect is tonight in police custody. Brandon Young was arrested at his home in Middleburg.
On your side's Nick Perot joins us now. And Nick, a family member actually played a role in connecting him to the assaults.
Well, yes, Anthony, that's right. Brandon Young's DNA was not in Jacksonville Sheriff's Office system, but Jacksonville Sheriff's Office say they were actually able to use what's known as familial DNA. That is DNA of a close relative, which is what led investigators to him.
Investigators were able to determine that each case involved a similar method of operation.
Sheriff Mike Williams said investigators found a similar pattern between 2006 and 2009. A man would meet his victims in social settings, sometimes parking lots, sometimes asking for sexual acts, and he'd commit a sexual assault. It took years before police, though, would identify Brandon D'Angelo Young. Young had not been arrested or convicted at that point.
His family members were. So having that close connection, again, doesn't make him the suspect, but it gave us a person of interest and a lead in this case.
Using Florida's database for those convicted of misdemeanors and felonies, investigators got a hit for Young's brother and used that DNA to issue a court order to get a sample of Brandon Young's blood.
That sample matched the DNA profile of the suspect from the cases in 2006 through 2009.
In 2006, Young was working as a certified nurse assistant at Baptist Health on an as-needed basis. The hospital says he was employed for a year and suspended after allegations surfaced. The hospital does not believe any of the victims are tied to patients at the hospital. Baptist adding in a statement, "While we already follow industry best practice for employee background screening, we are using this as an opportunity to review that process to ensure it is as effective as possible." It was the first time the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office matched DNA using a relative's DNA to a case. In total, the DNA is tied to at least 3 cases, but the Sheriff's Office is looking at 8 potential victims.
As the sheriff said, this success really underscores the value of the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, which we call SAKI, and a grant by the federal government.
And again, back out here live, that announcement was made inside here in Jacksonville, but we are told that Young remains in jail in Clay County. Downtown Jacksonville, Nick Perot, First Coast News, on your side.
Nick, thank you. Now, following the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office press conference this morning about that sexual assault arrest, we asked about a very important issue impacting the city of Jacksonville. We ask about homicide.
So earlier this week, the city hit triple digits, marking the 100th homicide on August 12th. That's the most homicides by August 12th in the past 14 years. So we're on your side tonight asking the tough questions to our city leaders about the violence.
And so today we spoke with Sheriff Mike Williams about what the city's doing to combat the crime and also about the preventative measures put in place like ShotSpotter.
ShotSpotter gives us a lot of data to help us, really nail down on when we should have people in the right place at the right time, that type of thing. So presence is a big part of that. There's a lot of different things that work together. There's not one thing that you do to say, hey, this is what works to prevent, and this is how this is how you follow up. So it's a matter of putting all these things together and then letting them work together for a while.
And this is a question we sometimes hear from you. What is ShotSpotter? Well, the system is used to locate gunfire, and it also sends the location to officers. JSO says this helps them get to the scene quicker after an incident, and it pinpoints the locations where there is more gun violence, allowing them to put more officers in a particular area. Well, the city of Jacksonville has also put nearly $800,000 to a new program. It's called Cure Violence.
So it's something city officials say will help reduce crime. The question, though, is it actually working? So here is how the program is designed to work. Individuals head out into the community to help prevent retaliations, resolve community conflicts, and move others onto a path free of committing crimes. It's also offering job and education opportunities to help prevent people from joining the criminal lifestyle. The sheriff says this program needs more time in order to be effective.
We've got to continue to work and stay focused. This is the path that we've chosen. We firmly believe in it. There's evidence-based success all around the country with this. We've just got to keep working on it and driving through.
So one other note from our interview with the sheriff today, he told us that violent crimes are up 9% this year here in Jacksonville.
So what will it take to tackle the violent crime in Jacksonville? For now, it remains to be seen, but we will always be on your side, pressing our elected officials for answers. And it's also important for our community to help solve these crimes impacting our community. So if you ever have a tip to help in an investigation, you can call Crime Stoppers. That phone number 866-845-TIPS. Remember, you can remain anonymous. You're also eligible for a cash reward.
Well, now to an update to a story we first brought you last night at 11. A person of interest wanted in connection to a double murder in Pennsylvania has been captured in West Virginia. 21-year-old Jack Turner was caught on board a Greyhound bus that police say had departed from downtown Jacksonville yesterday. The U.S. Marshals made the arrest.
Wall Street battered today, suffering its worst day so far this year, and that could impact your wallet. It comes after movements in the bond market signaled the sharpest indication yet that a recession is coming. The Dow spent the day free falling, closing down 800 points. That's a drop of more than 3%. President Trump blamed the Federal Reserve for the market plunge, saying we are winning against China, but calling the Fed chairman, quote, clueless for not cutting rates at a faster pace. The steep decline comes after the 10-year Treasury note fell below the 2-year rate for the first time since 2007. That's a phenomenon known as an inverted yield curve. The yield curve marks the difference between how much it costs to borrow over the short term versus the long term. And you might be wondering, why is that a concern? Because it has predicted every recession since the 1960s. You can expect full coverage on NBC Nightly News and ABC World News coming up at 6:30. All right, let's talk about this weather right now. The heat is on. Take a look at these elephants in Macedonia. They were treated to a cool hose bath to keep them cool in the triple-digit temperatures. Here in Jacksonville, changes are on the way. We hear the rain right now here on our studios. You saw Nick Perot there getting hammered. Tim Deegan joining us now with a look at the forecast.
Indeed, downtown we're getting some cooling rains. We've seen temperatures drop 20 degrees downtown in the last 20 minutes. Now we know in other locations it's still hot out there, but at least it's a sign that changes are on the way. Oh yeah, and by the way, in case you didn't notice, another record today, and it certainly felt a lot hotter. So thunderstorms increasing today a bit as compared to the last couple of days. A more significant event on the way for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But let's take a look at what's happening now. So the sea breeze is working into the east. We've had a little more moisture, and so we've had showers and thunderstorms develop right along and just east of I-95. Now that activity near I-95 will be ending shortly, but building out to the west. So over northeastern Florida, here's how it looks. The main thunderstorm complex has moved out of Mandarin and Fruit Cove over Doctors Inlet and Orange Park to Oakleaf, and then we're really going to focus over the western third really of Duval. That's where the rains, the heaviest rains, will last longest. Lightning is the most intense. That's my big concern, and there'll even be some wind gusts to about 40 miles per hour. I think the strongest portion of the storm over about the next 30 minutes or so will work along these areas through north central Clay and western Duval. We'll talk about those bigger changes both as far as the front and the tropics are concerned in just a few moments.
Thank you, Tim. And if you love talking about weather, we have the Facebook group for you. Be sure to join the First Coast Weather Watchers. You can talk about the weather in your neighborhood, share your weather photos and videos with us. Also get personalized forecasts from our storm experts. We encourage you to join.
Well, the debate continues over that proposed half-cent sales tax to help Duval County schools improve their aging schools, increase security, increase student performance. Now, the school board and council members met for 3 hours this morning to try and clear up concerns over that proposal. One big question concerned charter schools and why they would not receive money. Superintendent Dr. Diana Green says infrastructure-wise, they are some of the youngest schools in the area. Debate will continue on the half-cent sales tax at the next city council meeting. We'll keep you posted.
This Jacksonville man has been arrested for sending obscene photos to a child. 19-year-old Trey Roberts was arrested by the Nassau County Sheriff's Office after a month-long investigation. Social media posts show explicit conversations between the child and Roberts. Investigators say the conversations were sexual in nature, with photographs being exchanged. Also in Nassau County, 2 men have been arrested after allegedly selling meth inside of a home. Andrew Anderson and Charles King arrested on multiple charges. Anderson also faces trafficking charges as well as pot possession and having drug paraphernalia.
A local business could be closed for weeks after a car crashed right into it, causing extensive damage. This happened at Kirby Vacuum Service and Repair that's in Murray Hill. A witness says 2 people were inside that car. At least one of them tried to run away. Witnesses say the owner is a good, hard-working, giving man who did not deserve this to happen.
It's traumatic to me. It's hurt me very, very bad. He is a very nice guy. He's a wonderful person. He's done things for me when I didn't have money, and then I come back and pay him.
And we've requested more details from JSO about this incident. We'll continue to follow the story. Well, a major debate tonight over the creation of a new mine. We're talking about Southeast Georgia, where there's environmental impact concerns over a titanium deposit. Now, that site borders the Okefenokee Wildlife Refuge, and that is where a company wants to put a mine. More than 100 people packed a question and answer session hosted by the company. Alex Osiris is on your side tonight in Folkston.
It's the speckles of titanium you can see in the sand that run 20, 30 feet deep. But potential for mining here near the Okefenokee is drawing public concern.
This place is priceless and it's irreplaceable.
Only the hum of a boat's motor can be heard in the swamp. Just outside the boundary of the Okefenokee Wildlife Refuge is where Twin Pines, an Alabama mining company, wants to set up shop, digging for a resource that could be worth a lot of money. Titanium dioxide, a heavy metal used to make white pigment, is abundant in the sands here. A statement from Twin Pines says that the mine could represent an untapped domestic source of the metal, but locals and environmentalists are concerned.
At risk is a wetland of global importance. This is a fully functional, healthy, vibrant ecosystem.
Hunt was one of over 100 people who attended a Tuesday night public meeting with the mining representatives. Twin Pines says it's identified species that could be affected. Where a habitat was identified, a targeted survey was conducted.
My primary conclusion that I drew from last night is that there are too many unknowns.
The topic was also drawing the attention of U.S. Representative Buddy Carter, who says his staff is still sorting through the facts.
How do you balance business with the environment? That's very difficult sometimes. This has been tried before. In the past, it's failed, but perhaps there are new technology out there that now would make it safer.
The Army Corps of Engineers is currently examining the mining application, and the EPA could order studies on the environmental impact in the coming months. Twin Pines will be holding a second public meeting tonight in Charlton County. County commissioners are also expected to take up the subject on Thursday. Reporting in Folkston, Alex Osiris, First Coast News, on your side.
All new at 5 tonight, he is a man on a mission. Army veteran Jimmy Novak has embarked on a 3,000-mile walk across the country, and he's doing it to raise awareness for veteran suicide and those suffering from PTSD. The retired soldier started his journey back in March after battling thoughts of suicide, but now he's since overcome those mental health issues, and he's looking to help others one step at a time. We caught up with him today during his time here on the First Coast.
By being out here on the road and taking this epic journey across America, I'm hoping to inspire others to seek help. I want everyone to know that it is okay to seek help, that we all struggle sometimes.
Novak started his journey in his hometown, Washington State, and he's expected to finish later this month just down the road in Orlando.
Walking 3,000 miles. Good for him. Well, law enforcement across the nation on the lookout for distracted drivers.
And this video that you're about to see of an accident, we're going to show you after the break. It's going to make you think twice about picking up that cell phone.